to kind of, she goes.
All right, friends, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am so glad to see you guys this morning. So glad that you guys took it out of your schedule to be here with us today and to be with each other today. I think that you guys are going to learn as much from each other as you do from me and from Nita, because you guys are all experts in your various fields, and you guys all have so much to share. So I am excited about all the things that you guys are going to share and learn from each other during this process. So a couple of logistics and housekeeping things before we get started. First of all, you guys are probably wondering, why is Josh here with a camera? Okay, there's Josh. There's his camera. What we are doing is we are going to film video each of these sessions, because we realize that there are a lot of sessions, and inevitably there's going to be one or two that you cannot make it to. And so we want to help accommodate you to be able to finish this process while keeping up with all the things that you missed. And so if there are one or two sessions that you need to be absent for, then we will have a videotape of the sessions that we can send you guys. But here's the thing, is that you're not going to get as much out of the videotape as you will being here in person. So if you guys can make every effort to be here in person, because like I said, you have so much knowledge to share. And a lot of times you will gain something so valuable from table conversations that we don't even say from the front, that may not even be a part of the curriculum. And you walk away with this insight about something that you never would have discovered otherwise. So please try to be here as much as possible. There are a few classes, however, that are very action-oriented, hands-on, like for instance the one where we're talking about preaching and teaching. That is not one that you're going to be able to make up on video, because a lot of the work is going to happen at tables. It's going to be things that we work through together. It's going to be very, very hands-on, and so that will not be one that you'll be able to make up. But the good news is that we're going to offer this again. So if you do miss the one on preaching, then in the spring or next fall, you'll be able to pick up just one class at a time for any that you missed, okay? And we will be kind of keeping track of roll throughout our time together, so that way we'll know who has been here at which classes, who has made up the ones on video that they might have missed, and then who needs to come and retake a class that maybe is one of those hands-on classes. Okay? You guys good with that? Mm-hmm. All right. Now the other housekeeping logistical thing that I need to tell you guys is along the same lines. Some of you guys have already corresponded with Nita or corresponded with me and said, hey, I already know there's one date that I can't be here. And we know that things come up at the last minute, hurricanes. Hello, Michael, right? And sometimes that will prevent you guys at the last minute from coming. But if you already know of a time that you will not be able to be here, if you can mark that date on the same sheet that you guys checked your name off as you came in the door, if you can mark that date on there and just put an X on the ones you will not be able to be here for, okay? Because we are trying to be really good stewards of the money and the tuition that you guys have paid for this, and we did not budget in any extra money, so we don't want to buy meals for 5 people who are not going to be able to be here. Okay, so if you guys can do that sometime when you have a break, or even if you don't know them now, but you do know them the next time, bring those dates with you. And we'll mark those off, okay? So we make sure that we're paying attention to our cost and those kinds of things. All right. You guys good? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Well, let me get started by saying I'm Ann Bosarge. I am the multi-campus director here at the Chapel Ministries. And my job is to make sure that all of our 3 campuses are moving forward in the same direction. And one of the things that is my favorite part of my job is that I am responsible for staff and leadership development among all of our staff and among all of our lay leaders as well. And I absolutely love it. And so I am thrilled to get to be a part of all of this that we are doing together. And here's the thing though, I'm a really good not knower. Like if you ask me a question and I don't know it, I'm not going to make something up. I'm going to say, I don't know, let's figure it out. But because I know that I don't know, I've invited some really smart people to come and be with us in all of these different sessions. So I'll be here every time with you guys, okay? But then we'll also have co-teachers for all of the rest of these sessions. And Nita Crump is our co-teacher today. She is the Director of Connectional Ministries. Is that your official title?
Yes.
Okay, then. And Nita is a really smart person who is going to know some of the things that I don't know, plus some more, okay? So if there's anything that you guys need to know from Nita, I am so glad for you guys to get to meet her, to get to know her, and to be able to see her as a resource that you guys can draw from. And then each time you'll be introduced to some new people that will be here with you guys and with all of us from around the conference. So you guys will be able to have a whole list of contacts of really smart people that you can go to with all of your questions, who hopefully you can continue to draw some resources from in the future, okay? So in your notebook, every single one of you guys has a notebook. You will see all of the session handouts for Module 1, okay, for Module 1, and that is where we're going to start today. At the beginning of your thing, you'll see all of the dates and the details for our time together, an overview. Hopefully none of that is a surprise to you guys because it was all on the registration that you guys had when you signed in. I'm not going to take the time to go over all of that. If you guys have questions about any of the course details, when we take our first break, come and ask me. But all of that is there for you guys right there at the beginning of your notebook. Okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start with prayer, and then we're going to get going. All right? Let's pray. Dear Lord Jesus, I am so grateful for this group of leaders that is gathered here today, God. Because the fact that they are here shows that they are hungry to learn more about you. God, they are hungry to learn more ways that they can serve you and to lead others to grow closer to you in their context. God, I ask that you will be here in our conversations, that you will be here in the way that we interact with each other, and the way that we pay attention. God, block out all of the distractions that threaten to kind of pull us away mentally from what we're hearing today so we can focus fully on you. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so to get started today, well, first of all, here's something that you guys will discover about me throughout our time together. I love to play games. And because I love to play games, that means you guys are going to get to play games. So some of you guys may not be games kind of people, but guaranteed I'm about to win you guys over with some great games, okay? So we are going to get started with a game of Imagine If, okay? Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to each have one of these cards that says Imagine If, and you're going to put your name at... Actually, you're not going to put your name at the top. We're going to keep it completely anonymous for all the people at your table. So do not put your name at the top, but you're going to answer all of these questions for you. Okay, so the first one is, imagine if you were an animal, what animal would you be? Okay, don't tell anybody at the table. You're just going to write it down. Okay, what animal would you be? The second one, imagine if your family was a department store. What store would it be? Okay? So you have to name a department store that represents your family. If your church was a tool, what tool would it be? Okay? Would it be a chainsaw? Would it be a hammer? Would it be a wrench? What tool would it be? Imagine if your community, the place in which you live, was a fast food restaurant. What would it be? Okay? So you guys answer all of these things. Just put your answer out to the side of the question. And then what we're going to do is one person from your table will agree to be the reader. And they are going to read out all of these answers, and then everybody at your table is going to try to guess whose answer these are, okay? So if we read them all out and we say, well, we think that might be Lori's answer. And then Lori's going to say, nope, not my answers. And maybe we think it's going to be Rebecca's answers or whatever. So you're going to learn a little bit about the people at your table. If you have a question about why did you say the community was Chick-fil-A, then you can explain it, okay? Obviously not a 20-minute sermon on why your community is Chick-fil-A, but you can, in a few brief words, explain your answers, okay? You guys got it? Okay, so go ahead and write it down, give it to somebody at your table who will read those answers out loud, and then you guys guess whose was whose. And these are all at the end of your table right here. Alright, so did you guys learn something about people at your table?
Yes.
Did you learn something about yourself?
Yes.
You know what? That's what this is all about. We're going to learn a lot about each other, but we're also going to learn about ourselves as we move through this process. So I hope that you guys will find the rest of it as enjoyable as getting to know each other in Imagine If, which is a great fun game to play. So Nita is going to come up and really get started on all of the content stuff. But I did want to tell you guys just that that today is going to be kind of like a 101 class, all right? So we're not going to dive into some deep, huge, difficult thing right off the bat, but really what we're doing is this is going to be a basic servant leadership class, okay? And then the next 2 weeks are going to be kind of an advanced servant leadership class. And then we're going to dig into a lot of the really practical, hands-on kind of pastoral care and discipleship and preaching and those kinds of things, okay, and worship. And then we'll continue to go deeper from there. But here's what I want to challenge you guys. Probably a lot of the material that you're going to hear today is stuff that you already know. But what would it look like if we actually implemented all the things that were in our head? Like, what would it look like if we actually used all the things that we actually know? And so even though the stuff that you might hear today might be a review for you, I encourage you to begin thinking, what would it look like if I really implemented that in a new way? Or what would it look like if I led others who may not know this material to implement this in a new way? What would it look like if I, as a disciple, helped disciple others in this way? And the other thing that I think that you guys might be able to get out of this, if you're looking for it and if you're thinking about it and aware of it, is that what are the techniques by which we're teaching this, and how can you even use those techniques in your setting? How could you use an activity like Imagine If to get to know the people in your group a little bit better? How could you use some of the teaching styles that we're using in your setting? So sometimes I think we can say, oh, I already know this, check it off, I just need to check out for this one. Well, I'm kind of the opinion that there is always something to be learned from every single situation, if we just look at it through a specific lens or through a specific angle. So even if what you're learning is a review, I encourage you guys to be thinking about how you could apply this and how you could use this to teach other people to be servant leaders as well, okay? So Nita is going to come up and get us started today. You guys have all of the notes that you need and space to take notes in your notebook. And we will also be referring to the book that is underneath your notebook throughout our time together. This is yours to keep. So you can take notes in this as well. You can take it home. You can read the whole book. That would be great. We're not going to read the whole book today, okay? So you guys can extend your learning in this way. So those are the two resources that Nita will be talking about as she begins today. All right, Nita?